Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is May 11th, 2022, and this is episode 503. I believe that's what I'm at. Today we're going to look at a real indie comic. This is called Carmina, and the arc is Beginnings. This is actually, so you can see it's signed there and everything. This was picked up by a friend of mine at WonderCon last month, and he read it, and he passed it on to me. He said, "Hey, take a look at this," and he didn't really love it, I guess is the word is. And to my own opinion, I didn't love it either. However, there are good things about it. First of all, I want just to mention that this came in at a whopping $5.99. The quality of the paper and the book and the cover and everything, very nice. So I can see where they're going with that on there. This is a first edition number 1. It comes out from Diwata. I think I'm saying that right. Diwata Komiks. And it is a Filipino-American urban mythology. I'm not sure why urban's in there, but we have it in there. And first of all, the art in it I thought was pretty good. I thought the art looked really terrific. My complaints about it is Carmina, the main character, she really doesn't have much of a backstory, or it's just kind of like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And that's all we kind of know about her, other than her father had a heart attack and passed away. Let's take a quick look to see who worked on this. But there's some other good stuff in here that I want to mention. Writers were Mark A.J. Nazel and Eric Juliet. The artist and letterer was Roland Amago. The epilogue page is colorist Kale Molo. I hope I'm saying these right. Additional writer is Joe Arciaga. The calligrapher is Lorraine Marie, and the language consultant was Robert Del Monte. And some special thanks there. Surreal Arts presents a Diwata Komiks comic series Carmina. So I think they had other comics there as well at this booth. They were in the small publisher area. We get a nice letter from Mark Nazel telling us about why he's doing these series. And I think he's got a good basis for trying to do something like this. However, like I said, I think this thing could have really used a story editor, honestly. Somebody that had a lot of experience on how to build a story and just let them know, because I think they have all the other ingredients here. It's just missing that fluidity, and it's missing the character that I'm just not immersed with. I just don't really care about her that much. I don't know that much about her. So, like I said, this is it is based on Filipino mythology, which is really cool. I like that aspect of that. A lot of things I didn't know and never heard of before, and to bring that out, it was pretty neat. And as you can see, the art in it's pretty good. We have father-daughter. Some good facial experiences. He goes to sleep, has some kind of experience with a spirit. And what's nice, too, is they do have the Filipino language in here, but then they have a translation right underneath, so you don't have to do anything wacky to figure out what they're saying at times. And the art is very emotive. It is very descriptive. The daughter finds the dad dead, and then years later, she is on her own as Carmina, and she looks kind of mean here, but not quite sure what's going on with that. It's not really, because the next page, she looks more worried. She's visiting the gravestone of her father, Ernesto. And it turns out, I guess, Ernesto's been taking notes on all these spirits and whatnot. It's never really said what happened to Carmina's mother, but she does appear in here later on as a spirit. And I'm just going to go through it really quick. Here she is. How did we end up here? That's pretty much the character development. We just know she's in New Mexico somewhere, and she's got some crummy job, and has these strange dreams at night. And I don't know if she's actually married to this guy or not, but apparently he's an alcoholic, unemployed, and not that great of a husband or boyfriend. I'm not sure which it is, but she's dreaming these dreams. She goes off. Actually, the art on some of these monsters that we see in here is pretty cool. As we see here, she's just kind of wandering around. It's some kind of mountain in the Philippines, mystical mountain perhaps. And then we get a look at one of these creatures, which looks really cool. And apparently this is based on Filipino mythology. Then her mother shows up as a spirit, and the spirits aren't happy that the mother has exposed or let her daughter know that she's a spirit or something. I think that's what's going on. But she goes ahead and helps her daughter out of this situation. And then Carmina wakes up, and she's back at the diner the next day. I don't know if she works there or she just eats there or what. I'm not quite sure. I'm assuming she works there, but who knows? And then she talks about her dream a bit more. It's to be continued. So yeah, art in this is real good. I think the writing itself is pretty solid. I think the storytelling needs some help. Now, I think the high point in this issue is this. Actually, we go back to the Ernesto's, journal, and then Ernesto was Carmina's father that died of a heart attack, and he just starts to describe some of the mythology and some of the creatures that live in Filipino mythology, and I thought this was super interesting. And the drawings, you can see the side drawings. It's really packed with information, which is pretty cool. So you have the Filipino language, and then we get some kinds of translations here, which is really nice. And it talks about maybe half dozen creatures. Very interesting stuff. And then we get a letter from the publishing group thanking us, and I didn't talk to them. I didn't stop by their booth, but I did walk by it a couple times. I was actually looking for certain people when I was at WonderCon. But yeah, I'll be checking out their stuff in the future to see if there is some kind of improvement. Here we get little bios of the people that are working on this. You could pause this at any time if you want to read it a little bit better. If you're on a PC, I don't think you can read it that well on a phone. Maybe if I get in closer. Go back up. There you go. And upcoming releases. Obviously, this other one, Carnal Tales, is out. Darhong is out. And Carmina, I believe, was available. So, there you go. Take a look at that. Philippine Expressions Bookshop. And finally, we'll end up with this. So, it's hard for me to recommend it just because I didn't know what was going on in the story as much. Like I said, it wasn't fluid. I couldn't relate to the character or see anything. I guess there's nothing shown. It's told, what am I doing here? Why I'm here? What am I wasting my life? And that's about it. And then, the father has passed away. So $5.99. It's a very nicely produced book. Can't really recommend it, but I will be watching their progress in the future to see what else they come out with. It was interesting enough, but $5.99 is a pretty high price point, especially with a brand new company. But I can see why it would cost $5.99. Very nicely produced. Every inch of the paper is used. So there you go. So thanks for stopping by and watching this video review of Carmina Beginnings. As always, please please subscribe. If you haven't, please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you Adieu.